can't take it personally, is the way that I've had to look at that, at least all the time. So as we get our lawyer and we try to battle and about where we need to be, the Vista School and the Vista name came up a number of times during our fight to find Ty the appropriate education. And when we first looked into Vista, Ty wasn't even able to stand up and walk or to ambulate all by himself. So, we knew that Vista wasn't an opportunity for him. But little did we know it would take that almost 2 years of fighting and being disappointed and going through the efforts and living and breathing that battle every single day to the point where we would see Vista again. But when we did, it was, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. We figured, hey, this is it. This is where we want to be. And guys, before I even get there, before we moved to Mechanicsburg, we knew that there wasn't any structure where we lived for Ty to develop and to grow up. So we knew we had to move. We wanted to move someplace where there was more resources. So I asked to move to Pittsburgh. So they came to me and said, how about Harrisburg? And I was like, wow, really? That's P-I-T-T. Pittsburgh. And we wanted to go to Pittsburgh because of the Children's Hospital, because of the autism awareness that's there, the Autism Society and Autism Speaks. It's just more powerful, and you could hear about all that there during our research. And I kept getting the answer, Harrisburg. And I was like, oh. All right, so, we figured it was still a lot better place than where we lived. So then we got out here, and we went through all this, school system jazz, and then Kylie and I many times a night, I have to calm her down and explain why we moved. Because she didn't understand why we moved at this point. We seem to have less resources here than we had when we were. This is crazy, did we do the wrong thing? And after we finally get through all the muck and then we make it to Vista, at that point it's like the clouds parted and the sun's coming out. We figured, hey, we finally made it. And guys, that's what brings me here today. What brings me here today. It's my responsibility to just make sure that I can vocalize, kind of resonate out to you guys about the things that you do, how important it is. How important it is for Ty, how important it is for our family. You hold such precious lives in your hands. And how you do your job every day, it matters a lot. Thank you for everything that you guys do. We're really happy to be part of what you have to offer. And that's what I have. Thank you. I appreciate it. I had to cut myself off, otherwise I didn't bring any tissues. So. Thank you, Renee. Now I'm going to quickly transcend or transfer or move right into what we're doing here with my company, Lotus. And I'll try to be quick because I know you guys have lots of learning and things to do today. But how did this project kind of come about for us? Well, the company I work for is a $54 billion company that we're in the United States, we're in Mexico, we're in Canada. We have, like I said, 1,863 stores. We're pretty huge. And along with that, we're publicly owned. And as a publicly owned company, we have to show investors and the communities in which we do business, we have to show that we are committed to social responsibility. So our company gives each store every year the ability to work with a public school system or a nonprofit in their communities. And each store has the ability to spend about $1,200 to help make it a better place or to help make a difference. And it was my third year here this year in the Harrisburg area. And the first year we decided to go to the Boys and Girls Club on Berry Street downtown. Definitely a place that needs assistance, without a doubt. So our first year there, very committed, painting. We did the woodworking shop and stuff there. The kids there are great. During that whole process, I got to meet Cal Ripken Jr. and Billy Ripken, because they were putting in that gigantic Ripken Stadium behind the Boys and Girls Club. It was a great experience. Cal Ripken is my sports hero of all time. So it was really great. And then the second year, we did some work for the Women's Resource Center in Camp Hill, kind of a safe house. And every year that the Heroes program came around, my market director, my boss, would say, hey, why don't you do something for autism? Why don't you do something associated with your son? And I always had a hard time with that when I associated with work, because I lead a group of over 200 people in my building, and I didn't want to do anything that was self-serving. I didn't want to take my feelings, what I'm so close to, and throw it up on everybody else that I work with and say, hey, have the same passion and come with me. I just didn't find that realistic. So I always kept it elsewhere. During the off year, this past year, I had a great opportunity to meet another store manager over in Palmyra, which is here in your area, Jamie Windorf. Jamie Windorf shares very much of the same passions that I do, because he's a parent of a special needs child as well. His daughter lives with cerebral palsy. So he's very kind-hearted, and his family is very spiritual and connected. And I had asked Jamie if he would help me, because after speaking with you guys, I understand that we needed a gazebo or something to help shade the children from the sun, especially out there by the playground. I figured my $1,200 wouldn't do very much. So I asked Jamie to partner with me, and I figured, hey, $2,400, we ought to be able to do something. So part of the responsibilities that I have as a store manager is that I'm forced to go to Las Vegas every year. I have to rip myself away from everything that I know here and get out to Las Vegas. And as I'm there for, 4 days, part of what we do is we meet all day long and we train all day long. And during one of the sessions, our company has had a great focus on MDA. And there's a social responsibility section or segment of the whole program where our president of human relations and human resource gets up there and starts to speak. They bring up the parents of the MDA ambassador. They bring up this beautiful young girl who's in a wheelchair, and they come up there and they start telling her story, and I look over at Jamie and I see tears in his eyes, and I can't hold myself together, so I get up and I start to walk away. Well, unbeknownst to me, as I walked away, my market director pulled all the store managers behind my back and said, we're doing our Heroes program together this year, and you guys don't have an option. And all 13 stores are going to partner with Jamie, and we're going to put our focus to the Vista School. So after the meeting's done and I get back home, Kylie's cancer comes back. So Kylie has to go back out for surgery and have more lymph nodes removed. And as she did that, I had to take off work for about a week to 10 days. And when I returned from work, I had to go right into a store manager market meeting, because spring was getting ready to kick off. So as I get there to the place where the meeting was, the meetings get ready to start. My market director, Bill Reppert, gets up front and says, hey guys, we're going to do things different this year. Our mantra this year is together, which means that we're going to win together, we're going to work together, we're going to trust each other, and we're going to just bond together and move forward together. And he says, to start that off, Jamie, I need you to come up front. What I do. And then one of my co-workers kind of leans back and says, it's a public beheading. Oh, good. So as I walk up front, my market director says, okay guys, the first thing that we're going to do together is our Heroes program together. And then Jamie Windorf comes walking across the front with this life-size gigantic check that's made out to the Vista School for $15,600. And I was like, oh wow. And then Bill sticks a microphone in my face and goes, okay, can you say a few things about yourself? I'm like, yeah, sure. cleaning myself up, and I began to talk about it, and that's kind of how this whole project came along. I was very excited to email Jim and say, hey Jim, can you meet with me and figure out how we can spend $15,600? Jim was very excited to email back, yes! So we communicated back and forth a little bit, and then we came for the meeting, and Candace was there, and there were so many people there, and he said, all right, what's your wish list? And as I started going through the wish list, I was, okay, really? Oh, really? Okay, we're going through this wish list, and then we're like, okay, well, we'll look at that, let's get some prices and see what we can do with a lot of this stuff that we're after and we want. Jim, I think we got everything except for that four-wheeler thing that I did that. Wow, look at you shaved it all off. So we got everything else. So as we go through that and we start looking at the amount of money we had to spend, one of the things that Jim says is, wow, and Joe, they're like, wow, we have a lot of buildings here and it needs a lot of paint. I'm like, okay, well, great. Valspar. So we brought Valspar along, who's our vendor partner. And we're walking Valspar through the buildings and said, we have about 15,000 square feet to paint, and this and that. And as we walk out of the building, I look at my Valspar rep and I said, hey, by the way, my boss expects you to pay for that all yourself. You need to donate all of that. Got it? And then I walked away from him and he said, okay. And I get this email, Valspar has agreed to donate. I'm like, Joe, you still have $15,600 to spend. Jim, how do we do that? So then it's like, okay, well, we have a gazebo. So we're looking, and I'm really trying hard to get that gazebo for free, and trying. And the gazebo's about, I don't know, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000. So, and I'm getting nowhere with it. And I've worked with everybody at my buying office, and then finally I get an email from this guy that says, hey, I can't get you this gazebo from Suncast, but I sure can get you one from Hartwell. They're going to give you one for free. And I was like, okay. Because it wasn't the vinyl one that we were after, the maintenance one. So I said, okay guys, here's the decision. You want this one for free, or do you want to spend your budget and get this other one? So then Joe says, can't we have both? I'm like, yes. So we grew from one gazebo to two, and all that paint. And at that point, it was like, okay. And then Joe says, I still have money to spend, don't I? Can I send you my wish list? So Joe sends me this wish list of tools, which is about, I don't know, $2,500, $3,000. And then we talk about appliances. So we have stackable LG washer and dryers coming in. We have 2 refrigerators coming in. We have a dishwasher coming in. We're painting all the playground. We're painting 29 rooms, 15,000 square feet. At that point, I was like, wow, we need mulch. So I go to Scott's and I say, hey, I need 18 pallets of mulch. And I said, you can do that in a gram, can't you? And I get the, no, I can't. Oh, great. So then Joe says, hey, by the way, Derry Township agreed to give us all this mulch. And I'm like, so I'm like, that's great. And I'm like, Joe, do you have the people to put it down? Because I maybe have 100 people. And then as I began to direct and assign all the other store managers' responsibilities through this whole project, which turned out to be really big, the person that was in charge of the volunteers, she says, Jamie, we don't have 120, and then my heart starts to drop because it's difficult at times to get volunteers committed to doing something that doesn't really, impact them as much. And I was like, okay, Pam, what do we have? And she says, 220. I'm like, wow. Joe, how much mulch do you have? We can put that down. So it's grown to mulch wherever you want the mulch. I also got Old Castle stone to be able to donate, retaining wall to be able to beautify the front sign down by the roadway. So we're going to put a raised flower bed there and mulch it, throw knock-up roses all around it. So we can be really proud of the first thing that people see as they begin to come to this beautiful campus. And then as they drive up, they can see that the place is manicured nicely, and they get in the building and they can see that it's painted, and the children have opportunity to be outside for outdoor learning encounters and development sessions and whatnot. And guys, that's what we're doing. And along with that, my company kind of caught wind of it, and they said, hey, we love what you guys are doing up there with the Vista School. So what we're going to do is send a camera crew up because we want to capture that, and we want to show the rest of the 250,000 employees in our company what you're doing. And I was like, wow, that's great. And then our social responsibility network is doing the exact same thing. And guys, one other thing that I was lucky enough to be able to do, I believe that the worst thing that you could ever get as an answer when you ask a question is no, right? That's the worst thing that can happen typically, right? I decided to ask if somebody would send us off on Wednesday morning with a special message to kind of get everybody pumped up and excited about our project. And Jimmy Johnson said yes. So NASCAR champion, 6-time Jimmy Johnson said, what you're doing at the Vista School is amazing. So he's not coming, however, he did videotape himself talking about Market 873 and the Vista School, and about how important autism is in our society, and that he's very proud of every volunteer that's here. And does that mean that I won't see Jimmy in Las Vegas? I bet I do. And I'll take pictures and send out postcards. But guys, there's been so much excitement at the store level about it. We have our own Facebook at Lowe's. It's called Connections. And I got to share some of that with Sarah as she was at our house with Ty, and a lot of emotional statements, a lot of great things. And you guys have been so gracious to allow 150 people, I think, to come through and do tours in your school. Because I truly believe, as I stated earlier, part of my responsibility is education and advocacy. And I did not want to just truck 150, 200 employees up here to see your beautiful facility and then to wonder, why the hell are we here? Right? Why are we here? Because when you come up here and there's no children and there's no you to see what you're doing with the children, they're just not going to understand. There's no way they would understand. So I found it very, very important that we educate them along the way. And as I was speaking to Jim earlier today, it's made a huge impact. Huge. Huge. So guys, thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you today. I very much appreciate it. Thank you for doing what you do, because what you do matters. It matters to more than me. It matters to every parent that has a child here, and I'm sure it matters to you. So please keep doing what you're doing, and let me finish by applauding you. Thank you. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions at all about the project or about anything? Who's volunteering for the project? I know I got a list of a bunch. Yes, Joe?
It's on my tools now.
Tuesday. We'll have to start making all the deliveries and everything on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we'll assemble. Everybody's supposed to be here at 7:45. And I think day one, we're going to have about 140 volunteers. And then day two, we're going to be like 150 and change. We'll have a quick meeting in the morning. Rodney and Matt, who are here, are going to put together another video to kind of get people all pumped up and excited. Kind of run through some clips of maybe some parents and or staff, faculty that really can encapsulate, what kind of impact our project may have on your school and on the children and on the families. and be able to run that through all volunteers in the morning, and then finish up with Jimmy's little let's go get her done kind of scenario. And then Tuesday. Yes,
I
ma'am.
just wanted to let you know the times to start, the tours that I gave.
I heard a lot of people saying this little guy was giving high fives all the time, so I figured that was it. So thank you. Anything else? No? Awesome. Again, thank you guys. I appreciate it.